Long, long ago, the world was full of people. God had made the world beautiful, with green trees, high mountains, and sparkling rivers. He had made people to look after it and to be friends with him. But something went very wrong. The people stopped thinking about God. They started to do bad things. They were not kind to each other anymore. They argued and fought all the time. Their hearts became full of wicked thoughts instead of good ones. Every day they thought of new ways to be unkind and selfish. And the world became a sad and noisy place, filled with anger and hurt. God looked down from heaven and saw everything that was happening. His heart was filled with great sadness. He saw that the people he had created had turned away from his ways completely. The goodness he had intended for them had vanished, replaced by a darkness that covered the land. He regretted making people because they had filled his beautiful world with so much wickedness. It was not the world he had wanted. It was a world broken by bad choices. God knew he could not let things carry on like this. The world needed to be cleaned. It needed a fresh start, a new beginning. But in this world full of wrongdoings, there was one man who was different. His name was Noah. Noah was a good man. He loved God and tried to do what was right, even when everyone else around him was doing wrong. He walked with God and listened to him. He taught his family to be good too. While others filled their days with mischief and unkindness, Noah lived a quiet and righteous life. He was a bright light in a very dark world. God noticed Noah. He saw his good heart and his faithfulness, and it gave God a glimmer of hope amidst all the sadness. God decided that he would wash the world clean with a great flood, a flood so big it would cover everything. But he did not want to destroy everyone. He wanted to save Noah and his family because Noah was a good man who still listened to God. God had a very special plan for Noah, a plan that would not only save him and his loved ones, but would also give the world a chance to start over again. This plan would require great trust and a lot of hard work. God was about to ask Noah to do something that no one had ever done before. One day, God spoke to Noah. He told Noah about his sadness and his plan to send a great flood. "I'm going to send so much rain that it will cover the whole world," God said, "but I will save you and your family." God gave Noah a very important job. He told him to build a huge boat, bigger than any boat ever seen. This boat was called an ark. God gave Noah very clear instructions. He told him exactly how long, how wide, and how high to make it. He even told him what kind of wood to use, gopher wood, and to cover it inside and out with tar to keep the water out. Noah listened carefully to everything God said. The task seemed impossible. Building such a gigantic boat would take a very long time and a lot of effort. His neighbors probably laughed at him. They would have seen him cutting down trees and building a massive boat on dry land far from any sea. "Why are you building a boat, Noah?" they might have asked. "There is no water here." But Noah did not listen to them. He trusted God completely. He knew that if God asked him to do something, there was a very good reason for it. So he and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, started to work. God also gave Noah another important instruction. He told him to gather animals. "You must bring 2 of every kind of animal into the ark," God commanded, "a male and a female, so they can be kept safe." This meant birds that fly in the air, creatures that crawl on the ground, and animals that walk on the land. Big animals like elephants and giraffes, and small animals like mice and rabbits. Imagine the incredible parade of creatures making their way towards the ark. God made sure that all the animals came to Noah, and he welcomed them into the big boat he had built. So the ark was not just for Noah and his family. It was for his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives too, and it was for all the animals. The ark would be a floating home, a safe place for them all while the floodwaters covered the earth. Noah did everything exactly as God had told him. He measured the wood, hammered the nails, and spread the sticky tar. He prepared rooms for his family and spaces for all the different kinds of animals. He gathered enough food for everyone, people and animals, to last for a very long time. He obeyed God in every single detail. When the enormous ark was finally finished and all the animals were safely inside, God told Noah, "It is time. Go into the ark with your whole family." Noah, his wife, his sons, and their wives all went inside the big wooden boat. The pairs of animals were there too, from the mighty lions to the tiny ladybirds. They were all settled in their places, waiting. Then something amazing happened. God himself shut the door of the ark from the outside. Noah and everyone inside were sealed in, safe and sound. They were now ready for the storm that was about to come upon the world. Then the rain began. It did not start with a few drops. The Bible says that the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. Water gushed up from the ground and poured down from the sky. It rained and rained and rained. It did not stop for a single moment. For 40 days and 40 nights the rain fell without ceasing. The rivers and lakes overflowed. The water rose higher and higher, covering the fields, the villages, and the towns. Soon, even the tallest trees disappeared beneath the dark, swirling water. It was a flood like no one had ever seen. But inside the ark, Noah and his family and all the animals were safe. The great boat tossed and turned on the waves, but it did not sink. The strong gopher wood and the sticky tar kept the water out, just as God had promised. While the world outside was being washed clean, the ark was a sanctuary of life. Noah had trusted God, and God was keeping his promise to protect them. They floated on top of the water, which rose so high that it covered the tops of the highest mountains. Everything on the dry land outside the ark was gone. For many, many months, the ark drifted on the endless water. 150 days passed while the water covered the earth. It must have been a strange time for Noah and his family. They could not see any land, only water and sky. They had to look after all the animals, feeding them and keeping their living spaces clean. It was a lot of hard work day after day. But through it all, Noah continued to trust in God. He knew that God had not forgotten them. He believed that God, who had started the flood, would also know when it was time for it to end. After a long time, God remembered Noah and everyone with him in the ark. He sent a wind to blow over the earth, and slowly the waters began to go down. The rain had stopped long ago, and now the great flood started to recede. The ark floated gently until one day it came to rest on the top of a mountain called Ararat. Still, when Noah looked out, all he could see was water. He had to be patient and wait a little longer. He sent out a raven, a strong black bird, which flew back and forth until the water had dried up more from the earth. Later, Noah sent out a dove to see if it could find any dry land. The first time the dove came back because it could not find anywhere to rest. A week later, Noah sent the dove out again. This time it came back in the evening with a freshly picked olive leaf in its beak. Noah knew then that the water had gone down enough for the trees to start growing again. He waited another 7 days and sent the dove out one last time. This time, the dove did not return. This was the sign Noah had been waiting for. The earth was finally dry enough for life to begin again. God spoke to Noah again. "Come out of the ark," he said. "You and your wife and your sons and their wives. Bring out every living creature that is with you." So Noah opened the big door of the ark. He and his family stepped out onto the fresh, clean earth. Then came the animals 2 by 2. They hopped, crawled, and galloped out of the ark and into the new world. The first thing Noah did was build an altar. He and his family thanked God for keeping them safe through the terrible flood. It was a moment of great joy and gratitude. Then God made a very special promise to Noah, his family, and to all living creatures. He promised that he would never again destroy the world with a flood. "I have set my rainbow in the clouds," God said, "and it will be the sign of the promise between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my promise." And so to this day, whenever we see a beautiful rainbow arching across the sky after the rain, it is a colorful reminder of God's faithfulness and his everlasting promise to all of us.